not that it wasn't 100% like undeserved, but lack of Ranger participation in the All-Star game made me even less, like desire to watch it. But my kids definitely wanted to watch it, home run derby as well, so we had it on.
Well, you see, I think the reason home run derby has appeal for your kids and even Collins, who no longer plays softball, is it's the thing that it's like the kids that start shooting threes that should be like there should be an electric fence.
Oh yeah,
that should shock the kids when they try to go behind the 3-point line because they can't make it. Well, the dingers, I mean, we've seen the kid that I would love to know what he's doing now. My name's Robert, and I like to hit dingers.
Yeah.
I mean, so people like the long ball.
Oh,
it makes sense.
And everybody, like if you're at all ever played, little league or ever involved in, ever liking baseball at all, of course you like want to drop bombs.
Right. Nobody says, "Hey, I'm checking out the guy that hit singles."
Oh yeah. Slap one down between the second baseman and the first baseman.
Misty was at Robert Lee baseball games. Man, that guy hit singles.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I get the appeal, and then plus, you have people like O'Neill Cruz hitting balls 500 feet. It's just that's impressive.
Do you think do they use a different baseball for home run derby?
I would not be surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised if the bats were corked.
Little juice.
Just make it more exciting, but.
See, I have no problem with that.
No,
I wish they were all juiced.
Yeah,
like,
go
it's
ahead.
just so fun to
Start hitting
watch.
700 feet.
I know. Please do.
Like, give us a reason to have the shattered glass that actually happens.
Yes.
Like when you're at a flying bicycle game and the ball goes yard or goes foul and you hear the little shattered glass.
And everybody goes, ooh.
Was that my fault?
Yeah.
But to your point, and maybe the conspiracy theory that goes with it, I turned off the All-Star game and started watching something else because it was 6-0, and I was just kind of, whatever. Had moved on, and then Molly, who had a criticism for us that I didn't share with me earlier.
Had a what?
A criticism.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Molly came out of her room upstairs and says, like, Dad, the American League's coming back. Like turn it back on. And so I did. Watched them tie it up, and then watched the swing off, which was at least interesting.
So was that a home run off? What was it? Like a disc ball?
Well,
I did not watch it, so please explain the swing off.
The swing off.
Like, here's a hit. Oh, that's a double. Okay, you are winning.
No, it's homer, nothing. And it's really, obviously, it's an exhibition game. It doesn't matter. A few years ago, and I, don't quote me on any of the timeline or anything. It's just however many years ago it was. The All-Star game went multiple extra innings, and then they're like, well, we can't have that happen because you can't just put a middle reliever out there and let him waller in the extra innings like you would in a normal regular season game. So then they decided they wouldn't do extra innings, and it is also, to your conspiracy theory, the first year that they instituted this new extra innings rule where they were going to have a swing off. And
they were ready for it.
They
knew it was going to happen.
So maybe it's the WWE. All this time, I thought I was watching a sport, but it's just theatrics. So
not rigged as sport.
They put 3 players from each team, and I was also very curious of how that was selected. I haven't looked into that. How they went about choosing who went up to hit, because
part of the tribal council.
Because
yep, you can hit.
If I was in charge, it's not. I mean, Kyle Schwarber won it. He would have been on my list if I was picking. But if I was in charge, the people that they sent up there for the swing off were not necessarily the people that I would have picked. I mean, just. It was odd, and I don't know what that selection process was. But the way that it worked is you had 3 people from each team that got 3 swings apiece, and it was either home run or bust. So hit a home run, score a point. Anything else, 0 points. And Kyle Schwarber, who ended up getting the All-Star Game MVP, because I guess he kind of single-handedly won it, hit 3 homers on 3 swings. And the National League won the swing off, which I That was fine. It made for some drama. Obviously, I wouldn't ever want to see real games decided in such a fashion, but, for something that's supposed to be exciting, seeing a 6-0 lead turn into an extra inning game, that's exciting, even if it was scripted. Whoever wrote the script did a very good job. I'm not sure.
They drew you in and
yeah.
made Molly come out of the
I
room.
know, I
and
was told to
listen.
turn it back on, and I've given up on it, so.
All right, I'm more curious what this criticism is.
Well, we still got a lot to talk
All right,
about.
you keep going,
The
keep
Rangers.
going.
I'll go into the criticism.
No, save it. We have a whole segment that's
Okay.
scratched, so we have.
All right, well, then it doesn't make a good one later. So anyway, that's the All-Star game. Start, as you mentioned, against the Tigers for three game set this weekend. Obviously, the end to the first half really left you with some good feelings as far as go to Houston, win 2 out of 3, have a solid chance at a sweep, lose a game that was winnable, but winning 2 out of 3 on the road against the division leading rival, that's a check in the plus column 100% of the time. And so I've been saying for a while, I had kind of given up for a little bit, but I came back around to it, and I've been several weeks now saying the Rangers are going to go on a little bit of a run. It doesn't even have to be a spectacular run. They're 3.5 games out of the wild card. The Mariners are one of the teams in front of them. They have several games left against the Mariners, but good and bad, because the Mariners seem to really be a thorn in our side. But if that little boost at the end of the second half continues, that 3.5 games is no problem. So I think that the Raiders are right back in a place now that feeling good, moving forward. They're having some people come back. I actually was in Round Rock and watched Josh Spores pitch a not so great rehab inning, but he's working on it, trying to come back. So we got Spores and John Gray that are doing rehab pitching right now. That should be some reinforcements for the big club.
But one of the things that is happening, of course, I'm sure you're going to talk about trading Dunning, but this weekend you got Detroit, and now the difference is this where in this situation this weekend, Misty and I looked at you kind of weird. Houston's playing Seattle. Obviously, you take care of business against Detroit. Hope you can sweep it. You may, or at least win the series. Do you need Seattle to beat Houston, or Houston to do their thing and eliminate Seattle?
See, it's interesting because, like I mentioned before, I'm going to have to start cheering for the Astros, and I don't want to. But the most immediate need is passing the Mariners. And maybe you just hope that neither one of those teams gets a sweep. At least they pick up a loss. Somebody's got to win 2 of them at least.
So is that situation better for Houston to win those 2 or Seattle?
Well, I think Houston winning those 2 would probably be better as far as the overall momentum and morale of the team, because getting past Seattle, moving up in that wild card, at least once you're kind of firmly in that, we're in second place, we are a wild card team.
But it also may be able to, because you beat Houston last week, says, you know what, take care of that guy that may be our kryptonite, which is Seattle,
right?
Who's not
Houston,
and go beat them.
And unless, it's all relative, I guess. Unless Houston just decides to totally poop the bed and start trailing off completely, I'll try to take that too. But we'll go. Houston wins 2 is probably the best case scenario. And then if the Raiders can win 2 against the Tigers, and I will tell you this, that Sunday night should be appointment television if you're a baseball fan, with the Raiders, Tigers, Scoogle, Vivaldi, ESPN baseball game of the week.
And you better enjoy it, because there's not many of those left.
Yeah. So so anyway, that's obviously a big national broadcast game with 2 ace pitchers. So that hopefully lives up to the billing on that. And you mentioned Dane Dunning. I was going to bring that up, and this is one of those things. I was Hodge always name drops the shows that he listens to stuff, and I've not usually done that, but I was listening to the MLB network this morning, And they talked about Dane Dunning being traded to the Atlanta Braves. And I think they got it completely wrong as far as what their analysis of that trade was. They were talking about it as a salary dump for the Rangers because they traded Dunning for some cash and a very, I guess, journeyman type pitcher that will be in AAA that has not had any major league success to speak of. And Dunning was making $2.5 million, so they do recoup some salary, so it's not part of the equation. But I find that more to be a sign of there's moves coming. Because Dane Dunning was obviously on the 40-man roster. He was a big part of the Rangers winning the World Series in '23. Has fallen off and not been able to to help the team compete as much recently, but he was making $2.5 million. But more importantly, I believe he was taking up a spot on the 40-man roster, meaning that if the Rangers want to make a move, a trade, bring somebody else in, they need that spot. Somebody has to go, and if you're moving somebody off the 40, they either get cut, designated for assignment, which means that they could get picked up by somebody else, or you trade them. So trading somebody that was making a little bit of money is a bonus in that, because that helps with the flexibility. And it's just like I said, I think it's a sign of other moves are about to happen.
Well, hopefully they're good ones, and hopefully the Rangers can start moving on up like the Jeffersons. One of the things that happened this week, and we threw it out as our Black Plumbing social media question of the week. This week, and Misty talked about pressure. We're going to talk about pressure coaches later, but there's a guy that has a lot of pressure because of his last name. And is he already the most famous Longhorn without playing a meaningful game? We'll be back.
So how long do you have to wear your glasses?
Maybe not.
Oh, okay. I remember when I think it was after, or before I started doing the show, but I had to have surgery and I had to wear glasses for several weeks, like leading up and then after, and I was not a fan. It's just a little harder when you're a female. You have to put makeup on and then you're like, you can't see what you're doing because you don't have your glasses on.
Are you contacts girl now?
Yeah. I mean, I wear glasses at like when I get off work. When I'm at home, I don't like to wear them out, just because my eyesight is so bad. They're even paying extra money to get them like shaved down. They're still super thick and like not attractive. Oh yeah, like I feel like I'm not attractive at all in my glasses, and so well, I normally don't wear.
I think that's the point.
Yeah, I don't. Only Clay and my kids and my really like close friends that are there at late at night, and I'm like, I gotta put my glasses on.
See, these are not prescription. They're I mean, I don't need them to see.
Yeah, they're just protection.
Protection.
Yeah.
Because UV light, I have to avoid UV light. So they're UV blocking. I have to wear sunglasses. Like anytime that and they gave me some. I don't know if I can wear my own. I didn't ask that. If I have to wear those ones that they gave me, but I have been wearing just the ones that they gave me. So I'm just supposed to wear them. And have a follow-up appointment on Monday, and then I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I'll just keep.
Were you able to do it here? Was the surgery?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's so good. I had to go to the Metroplex for mine. It was a little bit more specialized, so and nobody here did it, but.
Yeah, but I was completely blind in my left eye. Like I didn't talk about it much, but I was blind.
Wow.
Which made it very funny. Walking through crowds, especially all those ball games I go to and stuff, that I would bump into people and just be like, oh, I'm sorry. Just because I could not.
But you're like, I literally can't see. I'm sorry.
And it didn't cause any major issues. It was just kind of one of those things. Obviously, but you bump into people in the crowd all the time.
Right, of course.
But I felt like I was doing just all the
time.
So is the boat from China stalled out at sea, or like what's going on there?
Greg talked to him. We've got said 3 weeks we should be good.
3 more weeks? It's already been like a month.
You must not deal with much of stuff being melted, Josh.
What did he say?
I heard China.
Come on.
Ooh. I went to bed at like midnight. I'm so tired.
After midnight,
Yeah.
we're like rolling out. What's segment about next?
The benefit concert.
Oh,
So yeah, that can be the criticism one. Will you pull that door?
sometimes I see that red shirt, but what do you talk about? It was like the heart monitor looking thing. You're like,
Uh-huh.
Welcome back to the Hodgepodge Sports Life and everything. Give us swing right here on 106.9, the Country Giant. Time college football is right around the corner. Last week we talked about how the Big 12 kicked everything off with media days, and of course the rest of the world. ACU had their United Athletic Conference media days in Nashville this week. So great stuff. Looking forward to seeing what happens with ACU, Coach Patterson, and how they can defend their United Athletic Conference championship in the 2025 season. But this past week, the conference, of course, you know the defending champs are the back-to-back Big Ten. Michigan winning it 2 years ago and Ohio State last year, but everybody normally points to the SEC. And this past week, the SEC media days were there in Atlanta. And so, Steve Sarkisian, did y'all see the mix-up on the media that the?
no, I did not.
And I tried to get it to come up on our internet computer, but I couldn't get it to play. But
It's just internet.
Me too. I just was thinking the same thing.
well, that's what it's labeled. And ironically, the internet's not going to do it, but that's neither here nor there. Steve Sarkisian walks up to the podium, and instead of the old UT song, the kid, whoever hit play, hit the A&M logo. And so he walks up, and as a true professional, Sark does not miss a beat, goes to the podium, and just starts his speech. One, I can't tell if he just hadn't been there long enough to know the difference in the two fight songs,
Right.
or if he just flat out said, you know what, I'm not letting you're not living rent-free in my head.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking. So, anyway, the SEC Media Days did take place. Texas is up there when it comes to who can win this thing. They're up there tied with Ohio State. And to me, when they started mentioning it was so funny how they said in their little preview, and again, the SEC is NFL minor. And they made the comment that it's been so long since the SEC's won a national championship. And it's really only been 2 years.
I was going to say, it hasn't been that.
No, and in the 2 years that it's been, previously it was Georgia going back to back. And so started looking at it, and now we know when Quinn Ewers went to the NFL, got drafted, ironically may have fell into the best place to go, which is backing up to. Arch is now the man. There's no question who is running the 40 acres. It is Arch. And I threw out there, is Arch Manning the most famous Longhorn without having, with just period? And we got some remarks, and I'll read those in a minute. I mean, Paul Feinbaum was talking this week about how he was doing a show, and as they go, and was fortunate to go last year to media days, those players, they just start walking through and making their way to the podium, and Arch Manning made a stop to shake Paul Feinbaum's hand. And Feinbaum's like, oh, wow, it's like I just met Taylor Swift. I mean, it was such a
He
big...
did geek out a little bit.
Just to meet Paul Feinbaum, it was a big deal for him. And so, how famous is this kid? And I'll read some of the remarks in a minute. Is he the most famous Longhorn, or just not yet?
Well, he's obviously most famous right now, and then it usually translates to you went for just name recognition of random people, then yes, because now is what typically matters.
Yeah, I think that's right. And with, I think this question is kind of hard because I think how old is the person that you're asking, how old are they? Social media does matter. Like we're in this new age where, 20 years ago, there wasn't Twitter or TikTok or whatever there was, or maybe there was Twitter back then. I don't know how long it's been around, but TikTok specifically, or, Facebook or whatever, all of these social media channels have really blown it up. And I think that exposure is just really widespread. So I think it probably is because of the day and age that we live in. Not to take anything away from some, honorable mentions, but it's really interesting. I saw an interview with Arch, and he's like, I don't even know why I'm getting all of this pressure or this, widespread fame already. He's like, I haven't even done anything. And so it's actually, he seems like a really humble guy, but he's literally like, I don't understand it. Yes, my last name, but I haven't even done anything yet.
And that's the right attitude to have, because you gotta it matters what he does now, but the thing is, what's interesting with the whole situation as far as is this is Groundhog Day, really, because you go back to Chris Sims had the same, well, yeah, and they had a quarterback already in Major Applewhite who was winning and taking care of things, and then they went on to the next guy with, maybe some people thought prematurely. This scenario already played out because they had a quarterback at Texas who came with a pedigree that maybe, and I'm not saying it's not going to work out for Manning. I'm not saying that at all. But maybe you put the pedigree ahead of performance.
That's totally what's happening
and it's already happened once.
And that's Arch is even saying that. The guy is literally saying, why is all of this happening? I haven't even done anything. And that to me is huge.
I think it's very Scotty Scheffler-like combo as far as humility of okay, I understand it, because there's no doubt you understand. It's kind of like whether you like it or not. If your last name's Bush and you're related to George Bush or whatever, there's some pressure that comes with that. If you're related to, you see it in golf. Charlie Woods, my last name's Woods, I probably need to be good. Now, not only because Cooper Manning, Arch's dad, was a good athlete as well, just some things happened where he didn't go on to be Peyton and Eli, but there's still, and of course, granddad Archie, who he's named after, has had some was a good player. So I like that he's doing that, but I do agree in the fact, hey, there is some pressure. We've used this word a lot. Who has pressure going into? And I do think Arch, right, wrong, and different, as soon as your parents had you and Manning was attached, you had pressure. And fortunately, you went the football route, because we've seen some, and not necessarily from a professional level, but I'm sure there's some professional athletes out there where their kids have not been that good.
Oh, there's plenty. Plenty.
I had a buddy of mine, his daughter tried basketball. Both parents were great basketball players. And it just wasn't her thing. But now Arch has done that. And so now Arch has this responsibility, because he is also not only the responsibility of being good, you're on a team that is expected to now, since the steps have been going in the right direction for the first time since Mac Brown, to go in the right direction to win a national championship, not just get to the playoff. Because now, getting into the playoff for Texas Tech is a huge deal. Getting into the 12-team playoff for Texas is the equivalent of Dallas making it and not getting to the divisional round. It's a failure of the season. So now Texas and Arch Manning has an elevated responsibility to not only to be good, but we need you to take UT to the promise.
Well, and that's the thing that I was going to say, is that's the pressure that I think would be on whoever was the quarterback, and the situation there with Ewers leaving, and maybe if Manning's not there, Ewers doesn't leave. I don't know. It's kind of can't really speculate all that out. But a team like Texas that has the overall history place, things like that, the recent getting better, expectations are, like you said, it's championship or bust type season. So it doesn't matter if the guy's name is Manning or Smith, like, that's a ton of pressure.
Well, and going back to the original question, the Black Lung social media question of the week is he the most famous Longhorn? And I put in my Facebook post, I tagged Jason Watt, who I go to as my local UT guy, which is that. And Kyle didn't respond, but I'd be curious to know, Kyle, we may text Kyle his question or his thoughts on it. Kyle King, that is from Mulligan, big UT guy, who is the most famous? And a lot of them flew out, and the leader in the clubhouse, who do you think was the leader in the clubhouse?
I would throw out like Vince Young. I mean,
He
I
was
would
the
probably,
leader.
okay, I was gonna
Vince
say,
Young?
I'd probably, if I was saying our first honorable mention would go to Vince.
Yeah, I think Vince Young was the leader in the clubhouse. Colt McCoy was one, of course. And deep down, even if Colt wasn't from gymnastics, Colt is an injury away from possibly leading them to a national championship.
Yes.
And not only lead to a national championship, but he actually he held a number of records for years in college football. And then goes on to have a career, not an amazing starting career in the NFL, but a very longevity of a career as a journeyman backup that made plenty of money, made his mark as a upstanding, that's the guy. But Vince Young is who Jason Watt said, and deep down, it probably you can throw in DK Royal in that bunch. He does. He does. And so it was just interesting. But when you start looking at the SEC, I think this year is going to be so amazing. And I put this down. Is college football behind the NFL? If you're ranking fan base, watching all the things, and we should probably Google ratings on that, is college football number 2?
Well,
Because NFL scheme.
No, NFL is key, but I think I would almost picture that overall college might have more fans.
I mean, football is definitely key.
I'll take that back. I will guarantee there are more college football fans than NFL fans.
Because there's more teams, or because
yes, there's more teams, but it's regional, it's spread out. It's kind of like baseball in the sense of there's a lot of baseball fans, but baseball doesn't move the needle as much on TV rankings. And I'm not saying baseball has near as many fans as either one of college or NFL football. That's not what I'm saying. But baseball is regional. So, the Rangers will play the Tigers. It'll be on national TV on Sunday night. It's still just going to really, really draw from
a small bucket.
The Texas market and the Detroit market. There'll be some other people that watch, but it's not doesn't move the needle. Like if the Cowboys played the Lions, you'd have national watching.
It's much watched TV.
Right. So my point with there being more college football fans and NFL fans, you go to any school, especially any school that has any sort of a history of a football program. I mean, I'm not sure that there's some schools maybe it doesn't matter at all. You will have the girls that couldn't tell you 3 players on the team will put on their jerseys and their whatever, and they'll go to the football game.
I don't think if they had tickets to the Cowboy game, they'd do the same thing, or the Browns game.
Do y'all want to know what the Google says? I have Googled this.
Yes.
Okay, so the NFL consistently draws larger television audiences than college football, and it's probably mostly because they have a significant presence on all major broadcast networks.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
it's more widespread.
I'm not saying that a college football game draws more than an NFL game. That's not the argument that I'm making. I'm making if you general public took a poll, you'd have more people say they were a fan of college football than NFL football.
I think you're probably right. We're going to go to commercial. We're going to come back and have Misty's back. But I do think the fact that if you could poll them in just that way, I'm going to agree with you, and I'll tell you why. I'll be back. I do think that, and my other question would be,
Because I think if you went to ACU, just mid, they're not up there, they're not, but you would poll the student body, are you an NFL fan? Or, you feel like, are you a football fan? And they would, yes. They're like,
But if you go to beat up on Saturday, and I think a lot of it is because we do have the ice and all the other notes here, you might hear somebody cheer because they asked somebody to put the TV on the Illinois,
yeah, just a random,
because they went to Illinois, they're from, I get that. But what I would be curious to know is, there was a stretch where I'm a college football fan because those guys play for scholarship, da, da, da.
yeah.
Well, now they're playing for a piss load of money. Is that changing some folks'
Oh, I'm sure it is.
view?
I'm sure it is, because, you had the fact, I've heard it said, like, these kids are out there working hard, they're not just out there because they're getting paid, you can still say that about going to a Martin Simmons game. Like,
Hey, John. The old dwarfenators.
On another note, we need to figure out, how do we, with our connections, your connections?
but I think
For mulligans, like you have to go through the dwarfenators.
Right. I'm okay with that.
Right.
I had a funny, I had a fun time walking about that.
And it's a,
On where?
family, yeah,
What else?
dwarfenators.com.
Would you ask if I was going to the Warriors?
Yeah. I mean, it's kid friendly. We may have to tag Barrett in, bring him.
The,
I would put some money on.
There's a lot going on tomorrow night. Josh Weathers.
There's a lot, yes, there is a lot.
I saw Josh Brothers at the place in Red River. It was really fun. I've actually seen him twice, just by happenstance. Wouldn't call myself a big fan of Josh Weathers, but his concert was very.
He was one of the first people to do the big, he threw together that fundraiser,
Uh-huh.
and he made like almost
Yeah.
$400,000 or $500,000 off of raising money and silent auction of just doing a concert on the TV.
On the old TV,
On television.
on the tube. I am really excited about college football this year. I mean, all football, but it's gonna be a good,
Yeah, the
good,
ranking stuff as far as like, say, you look up the game, yeah, there's gonna be more people that watch NFL games, but it's because of NFL for whatever reason, and I think actually, that dumb luck into it, because I think fantasy football is a big reason.
Mhm.
That because of that, like, I'll turn on games that I really don't care about.
Welcome back to the Hodgepodge as we get ready to finish hour number one. If you missed any part of it, be sure you download, subscribe, rate, and review to the Hodgepodge podcast. You can get that on Apple or Spotify. Be sure you do that. We're gonna save it because I want to be respectful of Misty's bag, but we are really into this thought of, and Misty Googled on the NFL, college, and all those things. Again, we'll kick off hour number two in a moment with John Starr from the Abilene Flying Bison. They're on a big 5-game win streak. 8 of won 8 of their last 10 games. Things going well for the Bisons. They keep rolling. We'll talk about that more. But it is time for the one and only.
So this is a huge weekend at Mulligan's because there's a new event coming to A-Town, and it is the Dwarfinators. So what does this mean? This is dwarf wrestling, Little Giants versus Tiny Titans. It is happening at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, July 19th, at Mulligan Sports Bar, Grill, and Golf right here in Abilene, Texas. This is what I want to put out there. You've got to go to dwarfinators.com to get your tickets. You cannot get your tickets at Mulligan's. You have to go online to get the tickets. And this is a family-friendly event also. It will be outside. I don't think the ring would, I don't know how big it is, but can't put that in the old dining room. So we're going to be outside. So, yeah, I mean, dress accordingly. You know, it's probably, it won't be too bad at 8 o'clock. So I think that'll be a good show. So I'm looking forward to it. I will be there. So I think we've all kind of talked about going and checking it out. I've never been to an event like this, but again, just shout out to Mulligan's for always just bringing stuff that's different. You know, I think that's important for Potosi Lab does the same thing. Ladle, all of our wonderful sponsors, they're just always bringing really neat things to Abilene. And so shout out to them and Mulligan's for bringing in the Dwarfinators. So very much looking forward to that. All right, so this week for my bag, we're going to do a petty workplace pack. So we're the Hodge pack, but we're going petty workplace pack. So this is going to be kind of a rapid fire. You know, we do these occasionally, all related to the workplace. Workers, this is not us talking about our coworkers specifically. This is just workplace in general, you know, because it is funny when you start thinking about some of these questions. So, you know, no one listening that we work with, this is not targeting you. We love you. However, this is dun, dun, dun. So here we go. Who's more annoying, the I sent you an email guy or the let's circle back later guy?
Oh, well, that's a hard one because when someone tells you that they sent an email, my first response in my mind is like, yeah, I saw it.
I just am not responding.
I saw it. But, yeah, I'm going with that.
Okay, Hodge?
I'll probably go with that. I'll get back to you because that means you probably didn't pay attention.
The circle back.
You're right about that. It means I have not done what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So we'll just do it later.
Yeah, that one is a toss-up for me. So moving on. Should people be allowed to microwave fish at work?
Oh, absolutely not. And I will throw somebody straight over the bus.
Yeah, you should not bring a stinky lunch. I don't care if it's fish. I don't care if it's blank. Stinky lunch should not be brought.
It equals no friends.
I don't know if Weston is listening right now. But that dude,
He named him.
They don't work together.
Yeah,
no,
true. Old news.
We've parted ways, but
Amicably, by
we're
the
still
way.
friends. I spoke.
Actually, it was the whole reason. It was the whole reason.
Yes,
It's
well,
fish.
those factor lunches that he brought, whatever was like some sort of garlic shrimp, and he microwaved that in the break room, and it about had to like clear the building. It was awful. He was like directly told by leadership to never do it again. So I will throw him right under the bus. It was bad.
All right, so we're gonna go to the top of the hour
Oh, no.
just to give us a thought, and then we'll come right back with Missy. No, stinky lunch. It's almost like an awkward.
It's an unwritten
It's
rule.
an awkward it's like the awkward combo. Hey, don't worry, I'll put deodorant on your desk.
Yeah.
It is time for hour number 2. We're continuing with Misty's bag, brought to you by Mulligan, and Misty's rapid firing some questions. Misty, what's next?
All right, so we're talking about petty workplace questions here, rapid fire style. So we just talked about would you be able, or should you be able to microwave fish at work? We all are in agreement. Heck no, do not bring your stinky lunch to work. We will not be your friend. Moving on, would you rather work with a know-it-all or a do-nothing?
Oh, do nothing. Know-it-all wears me out because half the time, if you know it all, deep down you think you know it all, and nobody wants to know it all that you know. There is no way.
You asked me on the first know-it-all.
Hey,
Personally, don't plan to land over in Asia in the winter. I like, what?
Hey, first of all, that was such a good little saying. I'm disappointed. There's no way I could repeat it.
Yeah.
Well, because it was a circle.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, the know-it-all is very annoying, but the person that just doesn't take care of their stuff when, like, you kind of need it to be taken care of, that can get bad too. But as far as just general annoyingness, the know-it-all, as Hodge pointed out, when people try to point out that they know it all, like that person, and this definitely has nothing to do with any current employee, because I have seen this in the past, not current, so if anyone's listening, they're not being talked about, but the people that always want to speak in a meeting just so that they somehow like impart their knowledge, and everyone's like,
No, the worst is that when you know everybody's done, and if you're at a meeting and you're like, the speaker is before lunch or before the end of the day, and they want to throw something in with like 3 to 7 minutes left, dude, nobody ever got mad that we got done early. Go.
What's the number one coworker red flag? Is it oversharing on day one or never saying a word at all?
I think oversharing, because when you overshare on day one, you're coming in already thinking you know it all.
or is it just the high drama? Yeah, because that's overly dramatic. If that's overly dramatic sharing, that's very annoying. I'm maybe a little Gen X on this one. That like if you don't want to share, I'm fine with that. We can work together and not be friends.
Same.
That's fine.
I feel the exact same way. Is remote work making us more productive or just sneakier about being lazy?
Oh, lazy for sure.
I'm a people person, get the word.
Yeah, same. Should coworkers ever be able to date, or is that just building your own personal reality show?
Yes and yes.
But I mean,
I wouldn't go to a Coldplay concert.
I mean,
I know,
right?
You got to check with HR, but if that's your HR, then maybe I'm not sure.
Apparently, you can get around it
But see,
until it goes
I
live.
was actually thinking about that when I saw that. It went viral, so that ruins it. But if the HR person gets caught in something like that Coldplay concert deal, and you know it, well, then you've got like a free pass because HR can't do anything to you.
Yeah, no, it's a bad deal.
That reminds me of a Gordon. We'll talk about that.
Is it more savage to quit via email, text, or just never show up again and let them figure it out?
Well, all three would be very highly frowned upon, but the just disappear would be the worst.
Yeah, but
But also just emailing like, I'm out.
no, I do think
I have had that thought in my past.
Like to the whole company.
Just,
Peace
I'm
out.
just gonna get up and walk out.
no,
That would be epic.
I think what you do.
I would never do that, Katie.
No, I think the way that it would be funny to do is if you did peace out, but then you revealed it very similar to the Coldplay concert, that you went viral that, oh, wasn't he supposed to be at work today?
Yes,
Oh,
that would
and
be
I'm
bad.
out.
Yeah, and you caught me, I'm out. Okay, what's more dangerous in the workplace? The chronic complainer or the chronic suck-up?
Oh, the chronic suck-up. No doubt, the suck-up is the leader in the clubhouse because the complainer, okay, you're complaining, you're probably negative. Maybe we can get you a balloon bouquet and make you feel better about life or send you out. Yeah, but the fact that you're wanting this, the suck-up by far is the leader in the clubhouse, maybe second, third, fourth. The suck-up wears me.
It is really bad. Okay, who's worse, the sent from my iPhone guy or the per my last email sniper?
So that, I just got, Corey Jenkins is listening and I love it.
Who's worse, the email signature that says, sent from my iPhone still, or per my last email, ...
I, unfortunately right now, and I just need to get some people that can change it, mine is from semi iPhone. So I had to change and did some things different, and so I need to change that. So I hope that's not annoying. It's not on purpose.
So he's going with per my last email.
Yeah.
Well, the per my last email, is the ultimate,
Like this,
yeah, well, and it's the passive aggressive.
of course,
And
and
I
there
don't-
should be
I
a
don't
place
know
for
passive
that.
aggressive, but I will say this, I have made sure that even, and I don't use the iPhone email, it's a Microsoft, but I made sure and changed my signature for when I send emails from my phone, so it didn't say sent you by Microsoft, whatever.
Right,
Because I don't want people I'm sending emails to know that I'm not sending them from my desk.
right,
I mean,
exactly.
you can judge that how you will.
No, right, no.
Now, I will say-
Customers, coworkers, like.
Now, I will delete
same,
that. You can delete
Yeah,
that.
you
part.
can.
I do
But you
delete
go to
that.
settings and you just put your regular, like.
Just
email
put your signature,
in,
yeah,
and
exactly.
That way they don't know if I'm not sitting in my desk. I don't want, I want that autonomy.
What's more disrespectful? Someone stealing your food from the fridge or someone using your mug without asking?
Dude, mug use, that would just make me angry.
Yeah,
It's never
mug.
happened to me. I have had food loss, but if anyone uses my mug, that would be.
I don't drink coffee, so that one really doesn't apply to me. Would you rather sit next to the loud chewer or the heavy breather all year?
Breather, chewer, dude, just annoying as.
So you're like, Josh,
Well,
per my last email.
I didn't know they were on their
I
deathbed.
know, it's like, yeah, what's cool?
They might be.
Where is he at? The thing is the eater person, the chewer, is the problem is I'm probably in that room and eating and hoping that meal in. The deep, slow struggle breather or whatever you just call it. Yeah, smacking's pretty annoying though.
What's worse when you're hiring someone for the first, like, new hire? The biggest red flag in these two sentences, which one would you pick? Oh, I don't take lunch breaks. Or I'm just here for the vibes.
Vibes.
I could not. If someone said they were just here for the vibes, I would lose it.
All right, last one.
All right, last one. Who's the most dangerous person in the office? The one who talks to HR too much, the one who's always on vacation, or the one who brings homemade food to potlucks? Nasty homemade food to potlucks.
So if it's nasty, they're the most dangerous. If it's just, are you concerned? Because there are some people out there that wig out about potlucks.
Oh, yeah.
They're not fans because they don't know if they have cats, they don't know what.
Yeah,
Oh.
it creeps
They
me
have-
out.
yeah,
If
so
you have a cat.
I get
there
creeped
are some
out.
people that aren't fans of potlucks. What were the other two?
Someone who's always talking to HR or someone who's always on vacation.
I think
I'm
always on vacation.
Always on vacation.
I think I am the person always on
Well,
vacation.
all right, so, again, my thing is, if they're always in HR, they're probably sucking up somewhere else.
Or complaining about everybody in the
So
office.
I'm
Oh,
going,
people that, yes.
I'm going that leader in the club.
Yeah, I'm going HR on that one.
All right, well, there you go, hopefully, and I will tell you, and we're about to have, John Starkin from Abilene Flying Bison. I was gonna ask him a question, they just both walked away from their
I'm
mic.
here,
All right, so when we come back, we'll maybe ask my question to somebody else. We'll be back right after this.
That's funny. What was your question?
Have y'all seen on Instagram the little kid that's walking to HR and he's like,
Yes.
I've been called into HR because I called my coworker ex.
Uh-huh. Hey, John.
Hey, Missy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
What time did you get in?
Actually I got in about 6 o'clock yesterday because I didn't stay for last night's game. But I don't know. I've been to Longview more times this year than I have in my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tired of going to Longview, Texas.
I bet.
Y'all had of course, we're on Facebook Live. Y'all had a weather of a storm for sure.
It does me real good to be able to look at a forecast and not see rain in it for the foreseeable future.
little 3-game homer tonight and then head back out.
Yep, head back out on the road for 7 and 8 days, and then back home to close it out, and then we've got the playoffs after that here at Walters. We're gonna,
So y'all will get the host?
yeah. We're the only team that can.
How is the playoff set up? What's the scenario? Do they take the top 2, top 4?
Top 4.
So it'll be y'all, Joplin, Sherman, and then Fort Smith?
Yeah.
Made some ground on Joplin.
Game and a half back now. It's hard to catch somebody when you don't play them. And when we did play them, we didn't play very well against them. But then it'll go semifinals. The 1-4 game will be on Tuesday. The 2-3 game will be on Wednesday, and then winners will play 2 out of 3 Thursday, Friday, and if game on Saturday.
So are y'all? We've been joking. Josh rooting for the Astros to help get rid of open up opportunity for them for the Rangers to still get in as a wild card. So in a deal like tonight, is this the weekend you cheer for Sherman?
A little bit. We are we're big Shadowcat fans right now. Just like we were. I was a big Fort Smith Marshall fan over the last few days.
Right.
I'm going to announce that that playoff tickets are going to go on sale beginning Monday.
Had a kiddo got drafted. I think we're going to talk about that.
Braden Risley threw well for us, was very effective, and then was able to get in for the San Francisco Giants. Braden.
Last commercial, and we're good. August 3rd for Hodgeback night.
I need to tell Lindsay so she can.
I shot her a text.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We are back with the Hodgeback Sports Life and everything in between. And hour number 2 brought to you by Coleman County State Bank, ColemanBank.com. For your mortgage needs, reach out to Tammy and Kaylee and those folks. They'll get you taken care of. You're looking for a new house. They'll get you taken care of. Joining us in our Potosi Live studio, it's time for our Abilene Flying Bison report of the weekend. The general manager, John Stark, who literally has been very similar to a familiar artist on our radio station, Willie Nelson, on the road again, but back home for a little bit before going back on the road again. But John, appreciate you being here this morning with the exciting time for Flying Bison baseball.
Well, Brian, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the opportunity to come in and visit with you this morning. We've been lucky enough to get some of our players and some of our coaches on, and even our Vice President and Chief Brand Officer, Kat Duguay, was made a trip through. We truly value our relationship here with you guys, and it's always fun for me to get to come in on a Friday morning, especially after kind of a long trip out down I-20 to East Texas, to get back yesterday afternoon and be able to get in this morning to visit with you. It makes me feel like I'm back at home.
Well, and you are back home for a little bit for a 3-game home stand over the weekend at Walt Riggers Field. It's been a big week. We talked not long ago, and one of the things as defending league champs and is to try to do that again. And Sherman was up there for a little bit, and y'all kind of climbed, and now the Outlaws of Joplin have been the Outlaws, if you will, to go capture. And you have flown up the rankings, and now in the standings, just a game and a half back, and now an opportunity to possibly repeat. Got to get some help along the way and continue to play good baseball. But as you mentioned, the Sherman Shadow Cats, maybe become a fan of those over the weekend.
Yeah, that's the weird dichotomy of it is that we didn't get the opportunity to play Joplin very much this season. We had 6 games scheduled with them. One of them got rained out here in Abilene, and made it up on the road, and then got another one rained out there in Joplin, and that's kind of been the theme of this season. We've seen more rain than I think I've ever seen in my 50 years of living here in Abilene during a summer. But you're absolutely right. We need a little help. And we're going to be real big fans of former Bison hitting instructor Chris Johnson as he manages Sherman to this weekend against Joplin. But the main thing we've got to do is we've got a Fort Smith team that is coming in this weekend that is actually playing some really good baseball. They're 6-4 over their last 10, and we've just got to come in and take care of business.
Well, and again, that's in anything. If you start looking at other people, that's when you have a chance to mess up your own house. And so it is probably a good thing to say, we're going to do our thing. And deep down, what those either mean as far as a league champion. You want to have that. But it's about being in that top 4, getting into the playoff situation to go win the whole thing.
Well, I think that, one of the, Bill Parcells said it best when he was coaching the New York Jets. It's just get in the tournament. Just get in the tournament. We've seen 16 seeds in the NCAA basketball tournament pull off upsets. We've also seen 1 seeds run the table and it be pretty much a completely chalk deal. It's just get there. Just get there. Give yourself a chance to play another day.
Well, and it's been kind of exciting. You mentioned the players that we've had on. We had Smalls on last week, and this another guy that we've had on that's been added to in the second run, and I saw him hit his first home run. Madeline Wiley, but McMurray. But getting Riley Hood, some of those guys, because, and we'll mention another big exciting news that happened to a Flying Bison as well. But kind of Dilly and Coach Dyson's done a really good job managing that roster of so many that could be in, could be out. Like you mentioned, it's not that they don't want to play, but they've got other things going on. And so being able to do that and the success, I think that's a lot of, not pressure, but responsibility. Says a lot for what Coach Dyson has done. I'm not saying like at church, like, well, if everybody showed up, we'd be packed. Well, these people go on vacation this week, these people show up. Being able to manage that roster, he's done a really good job.
He really has. You're serving several different masters whenever you're running a collegiate summer league roster. You're serving the master of getting the players better, but you're also serving the roster of load the master of load management. We've got guys that come in on inning limits, and so they might throw really well for us, and then they may, and then we've got to shut them down because they've reached their time. And what Kyle has done and what our recruiting coordinator, Brian Jones, has done is they've been able to find guys that come in and continue to pull the rope and continue to hold the rope and get us where we want to go. You mentioned Hood. He was a second half guy for us after playing every day for McMurray through the regular season, and then they go a couple of rounds deep in the playoffs. You got a guy like Smosner that comes in. You've got a guy like Garrett Bame who was at Tech during the spring, and then he needs to take some time off to let his body heal up. So it's just, and now he's looking at the in that last week to get him in to get some at bats and be ready for the playoffs. It's it's a juggling act. It's a balancing act. It's making sure that our players are getting what they need, and making sure that when a guy does go down, that the next guy just steps in and is able to continue to pull the load. Got a funny story about Riley Hood since you mentioned him. Mr. Abilene, as we call him around the playoffs. For the first time since I think he was probably in Little League, we're up. We kind of got a pretty good sized lead on Tuesday night out there, and he goes and plays center field for us. Riley Hood is not an outfielder, and Riley will tell you that he cannot run out of sight in 3 days. First ball, first pitch going to the leadoff hitter, he puts it in fly ball to Riley Hood in center field, and I'm thinking, as I'm sitting there watching it, I'm looking up and I'm like, oh my gosh, just please catch it. Just don't spike yourself and catch it. And he goes and makes the play. Then hits the big home run the next night and game one of the doubleheader, and of course Riley Hood just hit. So I mean, and he's continued to do that. But I thought it was funny to see Hood as an outfielder for a few minutes.
Well, and again, in one of those that's in a portal, and not that anybody's going to recruit him to play outfield, but when the portal guys look, now he does have some versatility and is the team kind of guy. So that probably, even though it was one catch and a home run to follow the next day, does say a lot for Hood. And so you mentioned it. We got 3 games this weekend here at Driggers. And then on the road again to end. Maybe you're summing up the league regular season championship, or being in the spot where once you get to July 30th, you're going to be at Walt Driggers for the next week and a half. To me, that's huge. And as we get to that point, why it's important these last stretch to start not peaking, but heading that way into the play.
Yep. Excuse me. One of my mentors, as I grew up in the game was a guy named Lee Driggers, who obviously is a coaching legend. And I remember back whenever I played high school baseball for him in the early 90s, he talked about how you never want to let your highs get too high or your lows get too low. You just kind of want to be at a plateau, but you always want to be going forward and going upwards. And that's kind of where we're at right now. I don't think this team has played its best baseball yet. We're playing very good baseball right now. I don't think we've played our best baseball yet. And that's exciting to me because you can see that coming on the horizon. And the fact that we get to finish with those last 5 games at home to go into the playoffs is, it's always good to sleep in your own bed.
Oh, no doubt. And speaking of playoffs, let's talk about that. Playoff tickets are about to be ready to go on sale for flying by some faithful, and maybe you're going to be like those small towns where the guys make the playoffs and that's the first game you go to. That's fine with us too. But when do playoff tickets go on sale?
Actually, playoff tickets are going to go on sale on Monday morning. We're going to put out a 5-game package. We're going to price it such that if that 5 occur, because it will be the if necessary game in the playoffs, as that's a 2 out of the 3 series, that we're going to price it where you're essentially pay for 4 tickets and get the 5th one for free. And you're going to be able to see both of the semifinal games, and then the entirety of the championship series, and then we'll make individual game tickets go on sale. We're still not exactly sure. We won't know until the end of the regular season what game we're going to be in. The Tuesday night game will be the 1 versus 4 game. Wednesday night will be the 2 versus 3 game. The winners of that will advance to Thursday, Friday, and then the if necessary game on Saturday.
All right, so those are set, not set, but those go on sale this coming Monday. Be sure you look at it. As Steve mentioned about Cat, look at all social media. You'll know when things are happening. Highly recommend to follow them on not only Facebook but Twitter, because if you can't make it, you could they do a really good job letting you know what's happening on those socials. We have rescheduled. It's all worked out. August 3rd will be Hodgeback Night. Hodge, myself, Misty, and Josh will be there. I've already worked on my high leg kick for the first pitch, but we're looking forward to being back out and being able to be there for Hodgeback Night. We ran into a little no art flood, but not we were going to have it, but we're looking forward to August 3rd for Hodgeback Night, which will be the last regular season as the Flying Bison will head into the playoffs. Do want to mention a big week this week. Of course, All-Star Week for sports world is normally kind of a struggle because it's MLB kind of sets that. But Abilene Flying Bison had a big moment this week as one of the Bison flew into the MLB.
Yeah, Braden Risley, who came in and threw for us extremely well. I think that he was 3-0 on the season with a sub-3 ERA. Grayson College product. Got to hear his name called by the San Francisco Giants. It's of course the first draft pick that we've been able to produce here in our second year. It's the first draft pick that the Mid-American League has produced, and just an outstanding young man. Just an outstanding talent. Got amazing arm talent. Has a 3-pitch arsenal. With a great fastball, great slider, and a really effective changeup. And we're just so proud of the kid. He pitched well for us, and we were able to be a part of his journey, and we're very proud of that.
So again, exciting stuff. Great baseball happening, and as John mentioned, on the rise, not plateauing yet. Hopefully, rolling into Walt Driggers for 3, and then head back out on the road on Tuesday. So get your tickets. Be there. Go catch some Abilene Flying Bison, and be sure to be on the lookout Monday for the playoff tickets, the playoff package, and don't forget August 3rd, Hodgeback Night. We'll be there, all of us, the crew, ready to go. John, I appreciate it. It's great stuff. And hopefully with the Flying Bison keep flying in the direction and go Sherman Shadow Cats this week as well.
Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it.
All right, when we come back, we'll keep our rankings going. Misty, the current coaches that are struggling, and eventually Josh is going to tell us about that awkward conversation that he had with Mom. We'll be back right after this.
Okay, selfie time. I know y'all love this one.
Yay!
But we gotta keep promoting the Bison.
I mean, I actually wore a clean polo just specifically
Oh,
for
see, you were prepared for this.
I was.
Okay.
Misty has a reputation.
Okay, come on, Hodge. Get in here.
I'm slow. That's true. No, I didn't.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys.
Oh, that's so cute. You nailed that.
Well,
It's so good.
I'm a professional.
Look how cute we all are.
I mean,
We're so cute. I love it so much. Yeah, you really did good, Josh. It's a really great picture.
all right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all letting me come out.
Always. We appreciate you.
Y'all have a
We'll see you
y'all have
soon.
a good rest of your Friday. I'm gonna go to the office and close my door and nap for a little bit.
Okay, John. See ya.
Close your office and take a nap.
Just like taking a nap at work. Never done it. I have fallen asleep on accident. Like, just like, I don't know, have you ever done that where you're just like sitting at your desk and you're just gonna go like,
You've done that? I actually haven't. I want to, but I can't.
I don't know, I haven't like gone to sleep. I've just like done the like head bop, like.
I hope you don't have to do there's no toilet paper.
Oh, well, I mean,
We're completely out.
I think so. I don't see any.
Just
so-
be
Yeah, Katie and I have a deal at the women's club. So she was like, hey, do you want to go with me? And I was like, sure. And so then I was like, oh, no casual Friday then. She was like, no. So, yeah, had to go with my double blue dress or whatever Josh called me. Okay, is it criticism segment?
I guess so.
Oh, what question were you going to ask us? Do you want to come back with that? Do you remember it? When Josh and I got up after Misty's back? And also, are we streaming? Because it's breaking up really bad, so we might just want to turn it off. I think it's doing more harm than good.
Move.